Tyra Patterson, an African-American woman who has spent more than 2 decades in Ohio prisons for a murder in which she insists she played no part, will walk free by Christmas after a parole board ordered her release. News of Patterson's freedom came 23 years, 1 month and 4 days into her life sentence for the murder of 15-year-old Michelle Lai in September 1994. The prisoner was 19 at the time of the killing, 20 when she was sentenced, and will be 42 when she leaves the Northeast Pre-Release Center in Cleveland. Patterson's fight for justice, and her consistent claim of innocence, was highlighted by The Guardian last year in a series of articles, The Injustice System. The investigation pointed to irregularities at her trial, including the fact that a crucial tape of a 911 call she made shortly after the shooting pleading for first responder help was never played to the jury. Jurors also came forward to state that had they heard the 911 recording they would have found Patterson not guilty. The Guardian also disclosed in December that Michelle Lai's sister, Holly Lai Holbrook, who was present in the car when her sister was shot just feet away from her, had become convinced that Patterson was innocent. David Singleton, the executive director of the Ohio Justice and Policy Center who has fought for Patterson's release for the past 5 years, said he was relieved and ecstatic. At 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Singleton personally delivered the news that she was to be free to his client, evoking cheers from other female prisoners locked up alongside her. Singleton told The Guardian that the long fight for freedom for Patterson had lessons for the criminal justice system in general. "It shows us that the fight for justice is really hard," he said. "I'm convinced that were it not for our 5-year effort, Tyra would still be locked up some years from now, and that's not right. There are many other people out there who are innocent but don't have the resources to press their case." The murder of Michelle Lai, and the subsequent prosecution and trial of Tyra Patterson, reflected many of the systemic flaws in the modern criminal justice in the U.S., causing numbers of incarcerated to soar. More than 100,000 women are today locked up in the country, out of a total of 2.2 million people, almost a quarter of the total prison population on the planet. The shooting happened on the 20th of September 1994, when Patterson was out walking with a friend near her home in Dayton, Ohio. They tagged along with a group of 5 other young people who were milling around the neighborhood, and they in turn came across a group of 5 young women in a car whom they stopped and began assaulting. The details of precisely what happened that night are disputed, but one thing is unquestioned: that Patterson did not pull the trigger. Another woman in the group, LaShauna Keeney, 21, shot Lai at close range as the victim was sitting in a car with her sister and 2 other friends. Keeney is serving a life sentence for the murder, which she does not contest. Patterson was accused of aiding and abetting the crime, but has always insisted that she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Her innocence claim was complicated by the fact that she picked up a necklace that had been grabbed off one of the victims' necks and was lying on the ground near the car. She has said that she regards that move as a terrible mistake on her part that she does not defend, though it did not merit a life sentence. Patterson's release by the 12-strong parole board means that she will leave prison, probably on or near the 24th of December, without having established her innocence. "Right now she will walk out as an aggravated murderer and robber. We still vow to clear her name," he said. The prisoner has acquired a paralegal certificate through studies while incarcerated. She plans in the first instance to take up a position as a paralegal at Singleton's Law Center in Dayton, using her own personal story to try to help teenagers avoid making the same mistakes that she made when she was young. The parole board reached its decision having heard opinions from both sides of the case. Singleton argued for release, while Leon Dadone, chief prosecutor in Montgomery County, made the case for her continued imprisonment. After the board announced that she was to be given her freedom, Dadone told the Dayton Daily News that he was disappointed by the decision. He said that Patterson was not the victim. The victim in this case was 15-year-old Michelle Lai. Her life ended, and the other victims in the car. They're the victims in this case, and they're the ones we have to think about whether or not justice was done involving them.